Well, what's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boost Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get much sleep for a while. I think I'm actually busier now that the season is over than during the season. It is crazy the amount of information that is coming out here. Now, here's where I actually recorded this earlier and used a clip from it, and it got copywritten, so I had to take it down. And then other news came through that I had to go ahead and deal with. But Jane Slater maybe has dropped a little bit of a secret here. We've heard, Jerry Jones was talking about Jason Witten. What was the quote he said about Jason Witten? Jason Witten has something that you can't draw up. Jason Witten has something that you can't draw up. Think about that for a second. So he's saying he's got intangibles like nobody else. So let me play the audio from this clip from Jane Slater about where we are. Basically, Jerry Jones is going from shooting from the hip. He is just going to pick who he wants to pick. He's not setting up interviews. Cliff Kingsbury hasn't been contacted. John Gruden hasn't been contacted. But he has talked to Jason Witten in the last few weeks, as well as Deion Sanders. Now, Deion may be using that the Cowboys and NFL want him to get a better deal with Colorado because his deal is actually on the table, and that's why you would kind of go through and say, oh, yeah, I talked to Jerry and this, that, and the other, because he's looking for a better deal there where he really likes being. So let's listen to Jane Slater, and I'm going to go in a little deeper on Jason Witten.
Well, Tom, I've just been busy trying to run down whether this Deion stuff has any real legs to it. We both know that Jerry and Deion are good at making sure they can command the headlines. They certainly did just that. Last night, I've reached out to Colorado's AD, Rick George. Rick, call me back, because I'm trying to get a handle on what Deion's current situation is there. He signed a 5-year deal. He's 2 years into it. There's been some talk that there has potentially been an extension on the table in front of the Regents. And so is Deion using this leverage to get paid a little bit more and stay in Colorado? Is the interest from Jerry real? I think the interest from Jerry is absolutely real. I guess the question is, does Deion want to come here? And the reason why I asked that is talking to a lot of people that are close to that program. I used to work in the Denver market, is the autonomy that Deion enjoys there, not to mention the staff. He's got a very large staff there. And as one person put to me today, is Jerry going to allow him to bring in all of those? Like Tom, as you know, Mike McCarthy was asked to reduce his staff, and Jerry is not really high on paying his coaches here. And so it's my understanding, talked to a bunch of people on many different sides of this thing. I'm trying to get a 360 view on this. It sounds like Jerry's been on a bit of a solo mission. He is picking up the phone. He is making calls. It's my understanding that he has not yet called Kellen Moore. He has not yet called Cliff Kingsbury. He's not yet called Sarkisian down at the University of Texas. Sark, to get out of his deal, that would cost about $6 million. I was told with Deion it would be about $10 million, and then that goes down over the length of his contract from 5 years. And then Pete Carroll's another name out there, and John Gruden. John Gruden has not gotten a call yet. That's my understanding. Nothing official there. And even with John Gruden, he is represented by Bob Lamont. Bob Lamont likes to get his guys 5 years deals, and they're typically making well over $10 million a year. So this is the situation that they find themselves in. Now, one name I didn't want to necessarily throw out yesterday, Mike and Tom, was Jason Witten. It's been my understanding that Jerry has talked to Jason in recent weeks, and I do believe that he was part of a plan that Jerry initially had when he was going to bring back Mike McCarthy. I think the plan there was to make him an heir apparent of sorts. Mike McCarthy sort of surprised him by deciding that he wanted to end these conversations, pursue something else. We can call them negotiations, contracts, conversations, whatever you want to call them. Now we'll see if Jason Witten will still be in play here. I just don't know if that would be in a head coach role, but I do believe that he thinks very strongly of Jason Witten and his future as a coach. I just don't know in what capacity that would look like.
So, Jason Witten. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, I'm going to say I was just, well, I was actually starting this video and I got a phone call from a little birdie, a little friend that I have, okay? I'm not an insider or anything, but I know things and I know some people. And I was having a conversation about Jason Witten. And Jason Witten is one that likes shit to be perfect. From my understanding is Jason Witten will put a foot in asses if you fuck up. Even if your name is Dak Prescott. If it's a little bit off, he's going to let you know about it. And as far as being tough, that guy, you can't question his toughness. Now, I don't know that he would be Dan Campbell-esque, where Dan Campbell's biting off kneecaps and things. But see, the thing is you see players that become a lot like their coaches. It's kind of like they say that people after years start to look like their dogs or the dogs start to look like them. They emulate, okay? It's just like a kid is like a sponge. They don't come out a certain way. It's learned behavior. And so when you see Dan Campbell foaming at the mouth and everything and what to do, his players, they take on that persona. Jimmy Johnson, he's kind of loose, have fun, but take care of business and knock people out. And you could see that's the way the team was. And that's one of the reasons why I look and I say, I do not want Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore always standing on the sidelines with his mouth open. I don't see how he rallies troops. I don't see how he gets people to want to run through a brick wall. Now, let me show you just get a little taste of some past Jason Witten.
And has been the head coach of two other teams on a fill-in basis. And that is over the middle, caught by Witten, who loses his helmet but still keeps going. A penalty marker is down, and Witten takes it to the 5-yard line. Jason Witten, in a play that you're going to see replayed a lot of times this week, losing his helmet and taking it all the way to the 5-yard line.
And then to get hit and lose your hat and keep running without your hat.
Ooh.
And he took, that is a real blow that he took to his helmet, head to head. And then he kept running. He's looking to the outside. He's looking behind him. Whoa, that is a whap. When you can do that, then you're a tough football player.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a guy, I can't remember a guy running that.
He took a whap. Now, I'll remind you that this is the same dude who got a lacerated spleen. Lacerated spleen. And had to sign a waiver basically saying, if you die on the field, we're not taking responsibility for it. Hand me the pen. Hand me the pen. And as far as being fiery, just like Philip confirmed to me, remember this on the sideline?
I don't care about it if it's a loss. Right now you can see Jason Witten and Des Bryant. Des Bryant pulling his spoiled child routine again. And don't forget,
job of using plays like that selectively. Oh boy. Bryant's going to throw and Witten's wide open. Scott Linehan with a great call for a Dallas touchdown.
I don't care about it.
So would he now hold on. Now let me back this up a little bit. He's not ready to be head coach. Now he's head coach of his high school and their state champions and stuff. But I don't know that he's ready to be head coach, that he's got the experience and things like that, unless this is a case of I'm the head coach and I've got great coordinators that are doing things, and I'm overseeing and I'm being the face of the franchise and so on. I could see more of whoever the Cowboys hire, he is running backs coach or offensive coordinator or tight end, somewhere in there. But like Jane Slater said, there's a succession plan. You're bringing him in there to eventually become your coach. We know the Joneses believe in familiarity. Guys they know. And maybe this is going to be a crazy one. I think that Mike Zimmer is the fallback plan. And would it be crazy if the Cowboys made Mike Zimmer the head coach and ended up making Jason Witten somewhere in that organization assistant offensive coordinator or something? Jerry kind of puts things out there to kind of be a feeler for you. I'll say this much. If you tell me I get Kellen Moore, the boy genius, or Jason Witten, I'm taking Jason Witten every time. Every single time. It's getting crazy out here. It's getting hard out here for a pimp. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.